The feet is crazy. Yeah, half you up, I don't even know what this is. Probably looking at the back of this car wondering what car this is. It don't matter. The car don't matter. Right? We have this A7 here today. That guy right there. Him. If you were in the live, you saw bro in the chat already. Things are probably starting to make sense. So we got this car in today to do some coilovers. Gonna be interesting because who has worked on an A7? Drop it in the comments because if you did, you're lying.
Who owns an A7?
Nah, that's besides the point. That's a whole nother category. Who's worked? That's shit. Anyways, it's new. We gotta get familiar with what we're working with here. So we'll make this quick. We got a lot of people. It's gonna be an eventful day. We have a lot of people pulling up. We have some people visiting. We have other jobs later in the day. But yeah, let's get this thing in the air, get the wheels off, and go crazy. Yeah, so if you look at the bottom, I'm actually showing you too, yo. If you look in here, see how it has, it's kind of like the Accords or like TSXs. It has a fork at the bottom, but it's not a full fork. If you look at it, it's some ghetto thing Audi made, and it's just one-sided. If you want to look in there. So, see, it's a one-sided fork. It only goes around the axle on this side. It's not like the Honda ones that are double-sided. If you look in here, it's empty. This is the shock. It's empty. So, really, the concept to get the bottom off is you loosen all the accessory brackets. You're gonna break this bolt loose. That's gonna give you room in this to play. You're gonna break this loose, split that, but you still have to take the bottom of the fork off to give you space to pull the shock out. So we're gonna figure out what tools we need. Start breaking all this loose, figure out what we're gonna do with the upper arms. I'm gonna leave those to get split last. I'm gonna break everything else loose because this will keep the suspension tight. So yeah, let's figure out what tools we need, get back in here, start tearing shit apart. So we'll spray everything down, including the top hat bolts. It squirted on me. Why is there a Mercedes badge right here? We got all the wheels off. They all came off. Bro was talking about how he didn't have lug nuts. He has all the lug nuts, and I gotta turn the music down because YouTube don't like it. So la la la. I was gonna say, there's no way. So I'm gonna spray all the bolts down. Like I said, we got the wheels off. They came off easy. Bro was talking about how he didn't have lug nuts. He has all his lug nuts, and then they were tight. Oh, God. But come here. I want this. Sick.
Nah, I'm keeping it.
You're big. You're gonna have to.
Also, I'm keeping the helper springs and I'm giving you 40.
You ain't taking. What we have here is the fronts, right? They kind of look like the Honda coilovers, like Accord ZKs. They have the sleeve that goes into that little fork thing, the shock, and the setup here is, I'm pretty sure these are the fronts. Setup here is you have a helper spring, you have a collar that divides the helper spring and the regular spring. Big spring goes on there. See how the helper spring. The top hat, we are going to use the factory top hat. That's how these coilovers are made to be. The factory top hat on these cars is a little weird of a design, so companies aren't going to invest on making them. I'm trying to charge you $6 grand for them. The rear is independent suspension. So we have a shock and a spring individually set up. This guy will bolt into the control arm, and then the top will bolt into the body. So we're going to have to figure out where the top hats are behind these covers. These are the spring that sits in the bucket. And I mean, other than that, it's pretty straightforward. We also have perches, which we might not be using. We're going to try it out, see what happens. All right, so we succeeded already, right? We got everything apart on one side. I figured out what I need. The shock is out, fork is out. Sway bar and links came off good. Upper control arms came loose perfectly fine. Everything's aluminum, so there's not a lot of corrosion. I see where Liam had issues doing these in the first place. You have to kind of do things in a specific order or stuff doesn't come apart. That's really the hardest part about this, is what order do you take stuff off? Because if you loosen the upper control arms first, this is all wobbling around. You have no leverage to break the bolts loose for everything else. So you kind of start backwards. You start at your fork, you work your way up to the shock, end link, brackets, and these are your last ones that you're going to break loose before the top hat. So everything's apart. I do want to get the other side out too, so that way I can build the front new coilovers together, measure everything out, set my preload so I can have a baseline when I put the car together. So yeah, let's work on the other side and you can pretty much watch the full breakdown on the time lapse. It's an update. Y'all favorite thing, an update. So the front's fully apart. I got both sides off. So you have the fork, you have the shock. This side's disassembled, and on the other side, I showed you that I took the upper control arms off, the two uppers. This side was stripped. Well, it's not even stripped. It's a little seized into the knuckle. So my concern was that I was gonna snap this bolt off, and then we're pulling the whole knuckle to drill it out. I'm not doing all that. So what I ended up doing is that I realized I had enough room. If someone pushed down on the knuckle, I could literally see how it's loose. I can get everything apart. So I was able to pull the bottom knuckle off. I was able to get the shock disconnected and pulled everything apart. So I can pretty much move on to the rears. I'm gonna get the rear shocks out, get the rear springs out. That way, when I reassemble the new suspension, it's just ready to put back into the car. So we'll clean up a little bit. We'll move on to the back and you'll see that. And now, this is independent suspension. So you have the spring and you have the shock. I already got the two top shock bolts off. So this thing's pretty much just chilling here now. The next thing is there's this little rubber guard here on the spring. I got to get that thing out the way so I can use the spring compressors, compress the rear springs a little bit, enough to get them out. So that's pretty much the next move. I mean, in reality, I could probably disconnect the upper control arm, but the axle's already close to the arm because of the suspension droop, so I don't think it'll give me that much space. But yeah, let's get this spring out. All right, you're good. So we succeeded. The back was honestly pretty easy. We had to disconnect the toe arm, so we will have to adjust the alignment a little bit when we're done with the rear suspension. But if you come down and look in here, I disconnected the toe arm right here. This little shield thing is gonna go away. We don't need that. Well, I guess we are gonna need that, right? Yeah, so the perch is gonna be sitting there.
You traded me for the guy, man. You said it last video.
I took the toe arm off, so that's good to go. I was able to use the spring compressors to get it all out, and the shock is loose. So now I just gotta unbolt the bottom of the shock, and this side's ready to pull out. Now. Who's honking? What up? What up? Glad you guys made it. How are you guys?
Great.
Yeah, I was just wearing my clean edition hoodie. That's funny, the same one. I took it off so I didn't get it dirty. So we get the spring out, like I said. Shock is now out. It was just the bottom bolt, but it's a huge one. It was like a look at this thing. This thing is huge.
That's my subframe bolt.
Yeah.
That's my subframe.
But that's the bolt that holds the shock in. So we got that out, and like I said, we showed you the rear suspension. That shit's all ready to go. We just got to put it together and put it in. So there's the difference. But yeah, we got to do that side though. So hopefully it's the same and it's not hard. Dyson. Point, we have everything out. We're pretty much at reassembly time, so that just means I have to figure out how I'm gonna set these coilovers up originally, get the sizing set up, get the top hat switched over, and start bolting everything back in. So let's get the coilovers put together, and you can see what that looks like once I have them made. I got the top hats off of the old shocks real quick, just so I can get one step ahead. Got them put on the new shocks, which that means these are ready to put into the car. I just gotta get the top hats on the front shocks, get everything pre-assembled, and start putting this shit back together so I can get it out of my garage. So yeah, let's do it. Rear is all put together. We pretty much have the shocks, the spring. We'll just have to set everything once we put it back on the ground. We just have to get the front shocks lined up. I think I'm gonna bolt in the top hat first, and then I can put the fork on and start putting everything kind of back together. But yeah, let's try out the front. It should go together fairly smooth, and we're pretty much 50% done with this one. So I hope so far it's been enjoyable because I've learned a lot. I ain't no shit.
It's different.
But yeah, hopefully this thing's on the ground when we're done. That's the goal. If we can get this thing on the ground when we're done, I'll be happy, guys. So let's move on to the front. All right, so I'm behind the camera because our camera guy is someone eating mad cream pies. I mean, Hershey pies. All right, but we got this thing done though. So we got the coilovers fully installed. Arms are all put back together. So this shit's good. I can pretty much put the wheels on. We can get it lowered to the ground, see what the ride height is, and see if we have to make any adjustments. Nothing broke, nothing got stripped. Shit, this was pretty easy, honestly, I gotta say. So, like, yeah, we could get the wheels on, put the shit back on the ground, and see what it looks like. So then we can work on that piece of shit. Bring that thing in here. So let's go crazy. We got the car out of the driveway successfully. We're gonna take it on a drive, get some rollers for you guys, get some clips on the good side of the car, and we're gonna go crazy. This thing looks pretty good. It's sitting pretty low. I'm happy with it. He's happy with it. Everyone's happy. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the rollers, and we'll see you when we're done rolling.
If he want beef, he can have it. Roll up with them Apex straps, I'm causing havoc. If you wanna beat, you can have it. You lost in effect, you gon' see your fucking earth.
Blow the cab, bet that where the cab go. Wreck the Bentley coupe, spit, Geico. Bitch, yo, money blowing through the asshole. Damn, little shorty, you a asshole. Fuck the little shorty with the lights on. Diamonds dancing on the shorty light mode.
Car's done. We drove it, we mobbed it. It drives amazing. The coilovers feel great. There's no weird noises. Everything works the way it's supposed to. And honestly, this one was cool because this is an odd car. I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I started this one. Like I was saying on the live, if y'all watched, 90% of this is just come up with an idea, come up with a game plan on the fly, execute it, and deal with whatever comes along the way. That's pretty much how this car came to be. That's how we got it done, and that's how it looks like today. So this car definitely looks completely different than it did when it pulled up. It looks so different. The low gave it the attitude it needed, and he's got wheels set up for it. So this dude is going to be looking crazy in a few hours, couple days. So this is the car. Let you look at it for another second here. And real quick, I just want to take a second to thank every single one of you that tuned into the live, every single one of you that engaged, asked questions, did your thing, chilled with us. We had like 40 something people total pop up. The ones that were there for the whole thing, y'all are clutch. Y'all know who you are, and we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who's liked the E36 video, everyone who watched, who commented, who's subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, scroll down right under my face, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You won't miss another banger, and you'll get to watch stuff like this every week, Friday at 12 p.m. Okay? Got to repeat myself. I don't think I gotta repeat myself. Thank you to every single one of you. I hope you enjoyed this little episode with us, and we'll be back with another banger next week. We love y'all.